Thank you for joining me on my Awakening side channel. You've made the trip to make yourself better. In this conversation, I spoke to Michael Beckwith, head of the Agape Church. He's a fantastic teacher. He's a trans-denominational minister, drawing knowledge from everywhere, from many, many traditions. I've seen that dude live. He's a healer. He's carrying some powerful, powerful knowledge and information. In this conversation, we talked about we've got a deep spiritual resource within us that we're neglecting, that we need to get in touch with. If you're in pain, if you're suffering, have a look at this. You will genuinely receive some information that I think will place you in the right direction. Of course, the work's still going to come down to you with support of others, but he's got some real insight. Have a look. Stay to the end because I need your feedback. How do you do that healing on yourself for things like, you know, you said that at first you sought to have a kind of a rational understanding, then realised that there's a healing, letting go of the toxicity. Is that something you can do for yourself or tell me how to do for myself?
It's combo. One, spiritual practice. You know, to me, meditation is the main key to be able to become a candidate to pay undistractable attention to reality, to notice the stuff passing through and be able to disidentify with it, to be strong enough that when you have an insight, you don't scare it away with addictive behavior. You know, you're able to embrace it, and you know, and then at the same time, you're not pushing away negative when it comes up within you. I don't want to experience that. I want to resist that. You know, you learn how to embrace the insights, embrace the pathology until your attention transmutes it. You know, everything changes on a subatomic level based on the observer effect. So if you have an intention to wake up, whatever you're observing is being changed on a subatomic level just based on your observation. So if you're embracing rather than becoming addicted to or trying to repel from, if you learn how to embrace, then great changes take place.
Have you now, and I'm assuming that you have, established yourself in a position spiritually where the ordinary vicissitudes of life, getting in a car, going to a place, dealing with people, maybe someone's rude, maybe someone flatters your ego, are you able to navigate that space sort of enshrined within spiritual contact?
Pretty much. You know, I very rarely take things personally from people. You know, I'm happy most of the time. You know, I can see stuff. You know, obviously the things you don't like, things I don't like. I prefer certain things to be a certain way, but the unbotherability factor is high. You know. And so I like that part of it. You have preferences, but they're not requirements. They're requirements for happiness.
Yeah. I have preferences, something that's I'm like on edge, man. I don't like that. I'm criticising it. I don't need that happening. Yeah. You know, like, because you see that thing you were saying earlier about, because I was a drug addict also, and like I want to live out there. I don't want to be down here. If I'm here, I want to be having experiences, like say sexual experiences, for example, when I was younger, that are so overwhelming that I don't need to be present in the rational narrativizing mind. And I find it I'm still just learning about how to be in that awareness and how to observe. You know, I have good meditations practice. I say, you know, at least it feels good, and when I'm doing my works in front of people, I feel good connection, good channeling. But when I imagine that you're on a different frequency when you're doing that stuff. When you're preaching. Right.
You got it though. You got it.
But I can't be here. Well, like I could be here, but like I need to be able to do normal stuff. How am I going to do that?
You want to be able to bring that to the normal? Is that what you're saying?
Even if I can't, because it doesn't look like you're doing that. You're not right now with me on the level of, what? Take the Agape Light. Take that.
No. But I'm feeling it. I'm feeling your light.
Oh man, how beautiful. But I feel like I want to be able to say, you know, when I'm dealing with people at work or dealing with my wife and my kids, to be able to sort of not get, like, say my wife today was, you know, she was like, our kids were up a lot in the night last night. My wife was like just upset about minor things and like she's not doing her own projects, and I'm like, I feel like I want to sort of almost force her to solve these problems immediately. Like, right, you got to do this thing and this thing and this thing and this thing. Like, you know,
That never works.
Right.
Plus, that's also the masculine tendency in us. We want to solve it really fast. And oftentimes the feminine process is a process. And sometimes a part of that process is actually talking about it or describing it. As the masculine process is, oh, this is broken, let me fix this. So we don't have to talk about this anymore. So I think that men are learning to be more available on the feminine, and the women are learning more to be available on the masculine. So it's a greater balance, you know.
So when I'm feeling that in that moment of like, because really in a sense, it's a positive impulse. I want to protect her and look after
Absolutely.
her on one level, but also on the other level, it's make this inconvenient thing go.
I don't want to experience what you're talking about.
I don't like this. Rub that away. Erase that.
Yeah.
So like, what kind of presence and awareness would you bring to an ordinary domestic or work situation such as that to help?
You know, I don't think there's a boilerplate kind of situation, but I think listening on two levels is what's important. I think there's a listening to whoever you're with, you know, to hear what they're saying, and also to listen to hear what they're not saying, because sometimes they're not saying fix this. Sometimes they're saying I'm in pain, right, and I just want your ear. I just want your heart. So I think there's that one level of listening. Then the other listening is to listen to your own heart, listen to the spirit, so that you're guided to the next move. Am I supposed to do something now, or am I supposed to listen? And so if we get out of our ego about just trying to fix it, and we're listening on both those levels, then the next move will be appropriate. And it's not boilerplate. You know, your move toward your wife may be a totally different kind of move for somebody else and their wife.
Yeah.
So it's not like, well, every time this happens, you should do this. No, it doesn't work like that. No, because we're so unique.
Yeah, so many variables.
Yeah.
And that would be in defiance of the principle of continual awareness to the absolute specificity of the ever-shifting moment if there were, as you say, a boilerplate solution. What were you like when you were a little boy? What was that like?
Interesting. When I had my first awakening at SC, I remembered the other awakenings that were trying to happen as a kid that I pushed away. I didn't know what it was. For instance, when I was 11, and my family's from Washington, D.C. I was in Washington, D.C. It was my birthday. My grandmother sent me to the grocery store to get something. So I'm in one aisle, and all of a sudden in my mind, I see the stock boy in the other aisle about to drop some baby food. So I run around and I catch it. And he says to me, "How did you know it was going to fall?" I couldn't explain it. I said, I just saw it. So I'm walking home with the groceries. My uncle, my mother, and my grandmother are sitting on the stoop. And I'm in this big expanded space. Now, I don't know what this expanded space is. I'm 11 years old, but I know something's different. And I look at them, look at me, and I'm saying, wow, my mother thinks I'm her son. My uncle thinks I'm his nephew. My grandmother thinks I'm her grandson, but I'm not. I'm something else. What am I going to do when I get next to them? So I get closer and closer and closer, and I capitulate my energy to become my mom's son and my uncle's nephew, my grandmother's grandson. I can remember like shrinking. That year, I was running for something in student body, treasurer. I got up to speak. This energy just came on me. It was crazy. It embarrassed me. People were like, what the hell? Because I started speaking about being an excellent student and all this. What the hell? And I learned how to close it down so I could be normal. So, fast forward, my last year at SC, when I had this awareness, I couldn't get back in the smaller box. And then I remembered different times in my life where it tried to break out, with me trying to break out, and I didn't let it. But in that last year, it came out, and it was like people thought I was crazy, and that was it. You know, now thousands of people come to see me. Come to see this crazy guy.
The mental breakdown going strong.
Right. It was definitely a breakdown for a breakthrough.
If you enjoyed that conversation between me and Michael Beckwith, let me know what you thought in the comments. What What did it bring up for you? What type of trauma are you suffering from? What is it that you want to alter and change? Do you feel like you belong to a community? Do you feel like you have enough of a connection to God? Are you burnt out on God and all those dogmatic ideas and ideologies? Tell me what you think. If you like the conversation, consider subscribing to Luminary, where it's available to you in full for a relatively small fee. Remember to subscribe to this channel, please. It really helps me if you do that. And hit me up in the comments below with any inquiries or questions that you might have. If you enjoyed this video, have a look at this one. It's very, very saucy and similar. Or have a look at this one. Go a bit deeper into the spiritual life. Thank you very much for watching. Consider subscribing to my mailing list as well. Stay free.